All right, gang. So let's talk about part two, or actually part three now, I guess. So far, what have we built? So we essentially have our switch. We built our first server. Okay, so we got our first Active Directory 1, our AD1. And now what we're going to do is we're going to stand up a second server, an AD2. And so when we talked about last time, we talked about our IP address scheme, our name, and all that fun stuff. All right. So for server 2, we're going to call it DC2. And let's just say we bought these in sequential. So that'll be our new name. And again, we already have an IP address. So the key thing is I'm going to use for this guy, I'm going to use, since this guy right now is running AD and is running DNS. So when I IP this guy, I'm going to have to use an IP that's in this range. Okay. Yes, we know that part. We're going to use the DNS address from this guy onto this guy. So that way, when we promote this will be able to find the Active Directory and be able to join. So it's going to be a two-parter. I'm going to join it, and then we're going to promote it. All right. So the first step we got to do is we have to go inside here because I don't remember the IP address that we call this. So let me go ahead and log in. All right. And let's go ahead and go to the command prompt and get our IP settings. IP config /all. There we go. That one's a .4. And okay. So this guy's IP is going to be 192.2.5 default mask. And then again, 2 for 4 for DNS, and then my way out the door will be, that is my router's address. Oh. So there we go. So it's going to be 192.168.2.5, 24-bit. 192.168.2.4 is going to be the DNS because, that's the DNS server for Active Directory 1. And then my way out the door. All right, now that we have that information, we're going to go ahead and close that up. And we're going to connect to this guy. And right now I haven't finished building, so we're going to go ahead and log in. So there we go. Finish finalizing it. So it takes up the whole space. And sure. So we still need to do two things. So we need to go in here. We don't need the server manager yet. So we're going to close that out. First, we're going to need to go into our control panel. We're going to go to systems. Again, we need to fix the name and all that. So we're going to go to about, change this machine. So we're going to call it AD2, hit next. We're going to tell it to restart later. And that's because we're going to want to do more stuff to it in a moment. All right. So we also want to go to our network settings, go to our Ethernet, change adapters, right click, go to properties, go to IP4, and let's put in our appropriate addresses. That we came up with. There we go. Now we could put another DNS address in here if we had one, but we don't currently have one, so it doesn't really matter at this point. You know, in theory, as we were building this could be our second DNS server, or we could stand up a dedicated DNS server. So there we go. We have that in there. And now we can go ahead and restart the machine. And this is basically going to give us a quick question. So we're going to go with configuration because we planned it. There we go. Now we're back in. And now we're going to go ahead and log in. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click on roles and services. We're going to hit next. We're going to go with next again. We're going to select this server. We're going to go ahead and select the Active Directory. And let me make sure I selected it. And then we're going to go ahead and hit install, just like what we did. All right. So next we're going to go back into our thing to promote. Again, we're going to be not using the New Forest because we're joining the existing domain. So since it already exists, we're going to put it in here, and we're going to go ahead and put in our local domain name. It's going to be lou.local, and then we're going to select this. So here's the thing that you have to do, because this computer is not you have to use a domain credential. So you want to do is use your domain name, which is .lou.loco/ and then you can use your domain account. So you can use administrator. In my case, I had made a domain admin. So, and then I'm going to populate that information, select the group, and there we go. So again, remember, it's also good to have, as this thing loads up, again, we need to remember that password that we talked about. And we're going to hit next. And we're going to go ahead and hit finished. And we're going, so we can replicate from any domain, or if we want to replicate from a particular one. So we're going to go with any at this point, but that is something relatively new. And then hit finished. And then this is going to go ahead and hit restart. And then we're going to hit install. And there we go. Well, it looks like this computer has successfully been joined. And now it's going to restart. So while this is restarting, let's go ahead and go to our. So if everything worked correctly, you can see here, it's 9 computers. And here we have our server. So when that second server boots up, we should be able to see that right in here. So let's go ahead and check on our other server and see how it's doing. So now it's finishing booting up. All right. So now we're going to log in. So here you can see now it says we're signed into this domain. So now I'm going to use my domain admin account. So this is the cool part about Active Directory, because now I did not create this account on this machine, but now I can log in with an account that I made in my Active Directory. So there we go. So now I go in here and go to my administrative tools and go to computers and drill down. There we go. So we have our 2 computers. So we have our first DC, where again, I forgot to name it the cool name. So again, you have to remember that. So there we go. Now we have both computers in here. And just to show you, so we will need to close these tools out just so they can refresh. And then go into our administrative tools. And go to our controller, and there you go. Pretty cool. We successfully set up our dual Active Directory with 2 Active Directory machines going. All right. So that concludes this little part. I'll see you guys in the next part. Bye.